The Fox 25 Primetime News at 9 starts right now.
Breaking news happening right now. An officer-involved shooting. This happening in southwest Oklahoma City.
Yeah, that shooting happening in just the last 3 hours. Fox 25's Jordan Lucero is live on the scene. Jordan, so what do we know so far?
We do know that all of the officers involved here are okay. We are on Santa Fe near Southwest 83rd. There are a lot of police officers out here. They're lining Santa Fe. They're going up and down this street. There's also a lot of police officers on Corona Drive where the shooting happened. That shooting happened less than 3 hours ago, around 6:16. We were able to get an update from a police spokesperson here in the last 15 minutes. He tells us that one person was hit with a gun. A man, the suspect here, was hit with a gun. Another officer also fired a stun gun at this man. They don't know, though, which he was hit with first. That man has been sent to the hospital. They say they were first called here around 6 o'clock because they heard a report of a man beating a woman. And that's when they found the man across the street from their home, and they shot him in the backyard of a neighbor's house. Police say it's still very early on in their investigation, and they're trying to figure out exactly what happened here. We did talk with neighbors out here who know this couple and say domestic violence has been a situation before. They're very concerned about what could be happening here. Of course, we'll continue to follow this and bring you the very latest. Back to you.
All right, Jordan, thank you. As you said, Fox 25 will stay on top of this story. We'll, of course, update you here on the air when we learn more. Plus, on our website as well. That's okcfox.com. You're looking at it live right now. Hey, also tune in to Good Day OK at 5 a.m. for new details on this developing story.
We are less than 24 hours away from a huge closure that could affect your weekend plans. You are looking live right now at the construction zone near I-235. This is where crews will shut down the highway for back-to-back closures starting tomorrow. All lanes between 36th and I-44 will close from 7 Friday night through the weekend. That will give crews time to finish some major work over the interstate. And now ODOT is warning you to plan your alternate routes now. This is a live look at their Twitter page tonight where you can see the list of a few of those routes. Fox 25's Caroline Vandergriff has got your back. She is live right now with what you need to know. Caroline?
Well, crews are closing I-235 this weekend in order to get some work done on the 50th Street Bridge. We're standing at the beginning of what will be the 50th Street Bridge, and people who live near this area, who work near this area, say this cannot come soon enough for this project to end. However, ODOT says even though this weekend marks a major milestone for the project, there's still a lot of work to be done.
It's been noisy, inconvenient.
The 50th Street Bridge has been shut down for months.
And at the same time exciting to get it finished.
Crews plan to complete a big part of the project this weekend when they'll shut down I-235 to hang the new steel beams for the bridge over the highway.
We're kind of excited to get this over with.
But the bridge still won't open to traffic until this summer.
Plans are still to do that, so this is a very key part to make sure that stays on schedule.
The interstate will be shut down again the following weekend to take down the old railroad bridge. It's all part of the biggest transportation project in state history.
It's also the longest duration. It's about a 3-year project.
With one more year still to go.
It's progress, and you have to put up with stuff, and we're just ready for it to be finished.
The lanes will close at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, be closed through the weekend, and then are expected to reopen Monday morning at 6 a.m. just in time for rush hour traffic. Now, if the contractor doesn't finish up the work on time, he'll be charged $20,000 per lane per hour. So there's definitely a big financial incentive here to keep things on schedule. Wendy?
All right, Caroline, thank you. And we've got your back. I pulled up that map that ODOT sent us. You can see the alternate routes there that are going to take you around I-235. And here is a list for you. Instead of taking I-235, you should take I-35, Lake Hefner Parkway, Lincoln, Western, or Classen. Those are also good options for you.
We're following some breaking news right now out of Washington, D.C. That is where we have just learned by the White House that they will delay their plan to roll out specific policy on guns and school safety. The president was expected to release that plan today after a meeting with bipartisan group of lawmakers yesterday. Let's take you now live to the president's Twitter page, where he has other things on his mind right now. He was tweeting after implementing a tariff on imported steel and aluminum to the United States, sending the Dow plunging over 400 points. You can see he tweeted out jobless claims at a 49-year low, manufacturing growing at the fastest pace in almost 2 decades. Now, what we do know about the president's security plan that was again supposed to be released today is that Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said he will be meeting with members of the video game industry to talk to them about violence in video games, what he blames for a lot of these school shootings. Of course, we're going to keep a very close eye on this for you right here at the live desk.
Good evening, everyone. Well, February, nothing to brag about, but we did end up with 2.62 inches of rain in Oklahoma City. That makes it the 11th wettest February on record. And it all happened, by the way, after February 16th, just after Valentine's Day, which is good timing. But get this, South Central and Southeast, 5 to 10 inches of rain and over 15 inches far southeastern parts of the state, and sadly, western parts of the state, less than a ½ inch. We had no snowmen in February either. We're supposed to get 2.2 inches of snow. We had about 0.3 inches. That fell last week with all that sleet and ice, but we did close the books on February today, and March is starting off pretty nice. Down to 31 tonight, freezing cold, dry and starry skies, but pleasant temperatures coming as we head into the weekend, and thunderstorm chances do pop up before the weekend is over with. Where, when, any risk of severe weather, your Storm Watch 7-day real soon.
Jeff, thank you. Charges have been filed against 4 teens involved in a sexual assault investigation into the Bixby football team. Now, according to court documents, the football players were at the former Bixby superintendent's house when an incident with a pool stick occurred. The documents show the victim was not able to leave the room when he tried. The affidavit indicates this may not have been the first time football players assaulted a student. The students' names involved have not been released.
Tonight, Oklahoma City Public Schools hired several new teachers and teaching assistants in a matter of hours. Here is a live look at the career section of the OKCPS website. I pulled it up to show you where you can apply for a job. The district's job fair just wrapped up 2 hours ago. Schools did on-the-spot interviews, and in some cases, people walked out with contracts in hand for next school year. One of those people, Darlene Jezik, will be a deaf education assistant teacher.
Answer from God, just answer from God. And this is a great school, I can tell. I'm really going to like it here. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
This was the kickoff hiring event for next school year. OKCPS held their job fair earlier than other districts to try to grab people first. It was a strategic move because of the state's teacher shortage, partially caused by low teacher pay. OKCPS is also looking for bus drivers with about 30 immediate openings.
Teachers in Muskogee making their voice heard today, hoping for a raise. This is a live look at the district's Twitter page with no mention of the teacher walkout today. Students also getting in on the action in the battle for school funding today. Chants from students saying, quote, "We are not an option, we are a priority." It's becoming the latest extracurricular activity in Oklahoma. Over 24 Muskogee High School students and several teachers as well. Signs in hand at the school entrance. All of this in hopes that lawmakers will take action.
I think it's going to take the students, the people that are being personally impacted by this, to let their voices be heard so that we can make the government listen, because asking them to just hasn't seemed to work.
Lawmakers passed a budget that would cut millions from education, and it didn't give teachers a raise.
Charges filed tonight against 3 Del City students. You're looking live at that release right now. The teens confessed to writing a note that threatened to shoot up and set Kerr Middle School on fire. The students said it was a prank, but now they're facing charges of making a terrorist hoax. Also today, charges against Raul Ramirez, who is 18, will be tried as an adult. He is charged with a misdemeanor for threatening an act of violence, this one at Capitol Hill High School. As the national gun debate ramps up, local firearm experts are weighing in. They believe the issue is about much more than gun reform. Tyler Miller, general manager at Wilshire Guns, says the issue needs to be looked at from multiple angles.
What we need to do is we need to figure out what are the correlating factors that really determine what makes these different than other gun crime and find ways to tackle that problem.
Miller interacts with dozens of responsible gun-toting Oklahomans a day. To him, taking guns away from one and not the other based on age isn't a fair solution. He believes the focus needs to be shifted from gun reform to mental health reform. And 3 bills that would loosen the restrictions on carrying guns in Oklahoma are headed to the full House at the Oklahoma State Capitol. Those who oppose the measures say they don't want laws that would allow someone to handle a firearm without a permit and training.
A man has been arrested after police released sketches of a suspect from a shooting and rape, but the second person involved is still on the run tonight. Estevan Martin is now in custody in connection with Monday's home invasion near Wilshire and McCarthy. Police say Martin is one of 2 armed men to push their way into the home, raping a woman and shooting her husband. The second suspect, who is described as a black man in his mid-20s, about 5'7" tall, police say he's skinny with dreadlocks down to his shoulders. And right now on the East Coast, millions bracing for a powerful winter storm. This is a live look at Boston tonight, where things are fairly quiet, but chilly and a little rainy. Now the storm is packing damaging winds that could cause severe flooding and power outages. Heavy rain already forcing road closures in many areas, including Memphis, Tennessee, where they just had the rainiest February on record. Several drivers got stranded in high water in Dallas as well. The same storm system is threatening the Northeast. It's expected to rapidly strengthen by Friday night.
It's possible that first responders will be unable to reach all flooded areas at peak high tide tomorrow. We've been in touch with dozens of communities up and down the coast, and many are considering evacuation orders.
The Northeast could see heavy snow with some areas of upstate New York possibly getting up to 2 feet. I've got your back. I've pulled up flyokc.com to see if this is affecting flights here at all. So far, we haven't seen any delays because of the weather tonight or tomorrow.
Tomorrow in Oklahoma City, the deaf community gathering to protest after a deaf man was shot and killed by police. Organizers tell us they'll be protesting District Attorney David Prater's actions and remarks at a press conference after the shooting. They say Prater has refused to meet with leaders of the deaf community to clarify his remarks. The protest will start at 1 p.m. at the Oklahoma County Office Building. Prater said 2 Oklahoma City police officers were cleared in the deadly shooting of Miguel Sanchez in September. Fox 25 reached out to Prater's office for comment, but we have not heard back.
Coming up, our very own Myron Patton breaks down which former Sooners and Cowboys are expected to stand out in tomorrow's NFL Combine.
And we've got your back with a new way you can get to the doctor, how Uber is making an effort to help even if you don't have the app.
Happening right now, a press conference in Massachusetts where the emergency officials are giving an update on a powerful nor'easter storm that is expected to hit tomorrow. Many coastal communities are being evacuated. Let's take a quick listen in.
Western and central parts of the states, and that appears to be increasingly likely as far east as Boston and potentially during the evening commute, has increased the importance of us reminding folks that they really need to plan for a challenging commute tomorrow, particularly the afternoon commute. Check real-time information for road closures, particularly coastal roads, but other roads that may be prone to flooding. We keep comparing this storm to January 4th because the forecasters keep comparing it.
And that is a press conference going on right now to brief residents in that area. They are expecting heavy flooding, power outages, as well as heavy snow. Emergency management is telling those folks in those coastal communities to be prepared to be evacuated and be away from your homes for several days till at least Monday. They are also preparing for loss of homes as well as potentially a loss of life with this storm. Of course, we'll keep following any new developments for you right here at the live desk.
Jennifer, thank you. Right now you're looking live at New York City, where the Dow dropped more than 500 points today on Wall Street. This drop after President Trump said his administration will impose tariffs on steel and aluminum imports. Now, this is a live look at where the Dow just closed hours ago. The Nasdaq and the S&P 500 also declined about 1% each. Trump's controversial tariff announcement immediately raised concerns about retaliation from China and other major U.S. trading partners. Now, Trump said his administration would impose a 25% tariff on steel imports, a 10% tariff on aluminum. It's not immediately clear whether Trump would exempt some countries from those tariffs. His national security advisors have urged him to do so to avoid hurting U.S. allies.
Our former state attorney general and now head of the EPA says he plans to start flying coach. Scott Pruitt faced criticism for costly first-class flights. The issue even prompting a member of the House Intelligence Committee to request more information. Pruitt has said security concerns were the reason for opting for first-class tickets. And today in Washington, the White House hosted an opioid summit to discuss what the administration's doing to fight the deadly epidemic. You're looking live at the White House tonight right there. Several senior officials as well as First Lady Melania Trump highlighting the importance of this event. This update follows the president's directive last October to find a broad solution to the crisis. The White House is focusing on education and prevention, law enforcement, and treatment.
Medication-assisted treatment is essential to this fight.
Instead of reaching for opioids initially, we have a stepped approach towards pain management where opioids is at the end, not at the beginning.
The White House wants more funding for programs that help substance abusers and wants states to have more flexibility to treat users. Experts say more than 2 million Americans are dependent on prescription or street drugs.
Oklahoma workers are back home tonight after spending 40 days in Puerto Rico getting the lights back on for those in need. This is a live look at OG&E's Twitter page where they just posted a few hours ago pictures of line crews returning home. OG&E sent 2 groups to the island to help those affected by Hurricane Maria. OG&E also shipped 50 big orange trucks to Puerto Rico. They are expected to begin the 12-day journey home tomorrow. Overall, more than 15% of power customers remain in the dark right now. Officials have said they expect power to be fully restored by May.
The man accused in a dramatic robbery caught on camera, now booked into jail. Tyrone Lee was just released from the hospital after being shot 7 times last Thursday. Fox 25 told you he was met with gunfire from a mother-daughter duo who owned a Tulsa liquor store. Lee faces 10 charges.
An already record number of flu-related deaths seems to finally be leveling off. The Oklahoma State Department of Health reports 194 people have died this flu season. That's up from last week's total of 173. But there are signs that flu activity could be slowing down. None of the new deaths reported occurred within the past week.
Uber wants to get you from your home to the doctor's office, and you won't even need to open the Uber app. The company announced it is teaming up with healthcare organizations to provide transportation for patients going to and from medical appointments. The rides can be scheduled for patients through doctor's offices by receptionists or other staffers, and they can be booked for immediate pickup or up to 30 days in advance. That means patients without a smartphone can become Uber customers. Instead of operating through the app, Uber Health will send its passengers ride information through a text message.
Well, it's a new month, and that means big savings.
Coming up, we've got your back with where you can find the best deals right now, and they could help you get in shape.
And heavy coats for the kids at the bus stop in the morning. Sunny but freezing cold weekend. Thunderstorms are very possible. Where